cool.
Awesome.
Kelly,
Yes.
we are on.
Oh my God.
Amazing. You, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Oh,
So
God.
I would love for you to just tell us what your magic is in the world, so we can really have a clear understanding of how you help people and what you're really after.
Well, I own a health food store and wellness center with my mom. We just opened about a year and a half ago. I'm a level 2 Reiki practitioner, and I'm currently doing a coaching program so I can help female entrepreneurs with their mindset so they can go after their dream business.
Mm.
And that's really the goal. I've always wanted to help people, and growing up, I was like, oh, I want to be a guidance counselor. I was like, no, I can't do that. I don't have the grades. And then I never knew how I wanted to help people. And then I found Reiki and I was like, yes, this is it. And then my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. So I have moved back to my hometown and to be with her. And then we started the business, which then leads to, our community is really small. So having a health food store has really helped a lot of people. They don't have to travel for what they need. So it's just expanding on the helping everybody.
Wow. I'm so curious. Are the products that you sell in this store with your mom, is this like a curation of things that she's used in her personal journey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really came about because she always had to go to the city to get the things that she needed, like supplements and whatnot. And that's about an hour away from where we live. So, you know, it's a long drive for people. If you're not going that way, it's kind of like a half a day trip if you have to go in. So it's a lot easier for people to come and get what they need. So we've just really focused on when customers come in and ask if we have something. If we don't have it, then we want to bring it in if it's gonna make their lives easier so they don't have to, travel everywhere for what they need.
Wow. That is such a testament of turning pain into purpose. That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
So, Kelly, let me tell you a bit about what I envision for this conversation today.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I do is deep coaching. I'm going to create a space where we can go really deep together if you choose. You can always choose to hold back if you don't want to go in a certain direction, but I want to create something really powerful. So I've blocked the next 45 or so minutes for you, and I just want to check what's the situation on timing for you.
Oh, I have today off. I was just cleaning my house earlier, so we're good.
Beautiful. We have all day.
We have all day.
I love it. So what I do is deep coaching. It's powerful and it's impactful. And to be quite frank, it's life-changing. Now, you can relax a bit. It's not always as intense as it might sound. We are going to have some fun as we talk together, but I want to invite you to go on this journey with me where you are open to thinking about things that you might not have thought about before, that you're open to even the way that you see your world right now being challenged, that there are new possibilities before you that you haven't seen maybe until now. And that's the journey that I'd love to take you on.
Sounds good.
So awesome. Before we go there, what I'd love to do is just quickly create some agreements between us so that we are on the same page. So the first is a simple distinction for me. When we talk over the next few minutes, I'm going to be showing up to serve you, not to please you. And I want to explain what that means. If I was showing up to please you, I would be saying the things that you'd want to hear. I'd be saying the things that I would hope that if you hear them, you would like me. But the power of my coaching really comes from the fact that I don't need you to like me. When we are in a coaching conversation, I am fully here to serve you. And I'm here to say what I might even feel is comfortable to say. And that's how I get to serve you the most powerfully. How does that feel for you?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. The next agreement is what I call high flame coaching. So that means that we can turn the dial and the flame goes higher in the coaching. And this doesn't look like me berating you. What it does look like is me challenging the way that you see your world. Have you ever had a girlfriend who gets really frustrated by the guy she's dating? They all seem to treat her like crap. And then she finally goes along and brings this new guy and says, you have to meet him. He's finally different. And you go to meet him and he's just like all the other guys. And you try telling her and she just can't hear you. And so then finally, he does the thing that she always hates, and they're done in 3 months. And she comes back to you and says, well, why didn't you tell me? We can't always see or hear it when our friends are trying to tell us what's going on in our world. The power of sitting down with a coach is that if you're open to it, I'll be willing to say the things that perhaps no one else would be willing to say. And this is because when we challenge the way we see our own world, our world changes. Are you cool with that? Okay.
Yes, I do really well with tough love. That's usually when I have my most aha moments. So
Beautiful.
this is great.
Beautiful. And of course, just know that you can always turn the flame down by simply saying, okay, Steph, I'm not up for going there today. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The final agreement is what I call authenticity. It's that I am not going to hide anything from you or hold anything back. I am human just like you. I have my own blocks, my own limiting beliefs and struggles in life, and I'm not going to hide them from you. And I request that you do the same, that you really practice hiding nothing in this conversation. Because if you try and let's just say look good for the person who's coaching you, there's really no point in us having a conversation. It only serves us deeply if you're willing to dive in as deep as I am. Are you up for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So Kelly, do you have any questions for me? Is there anything that you want as an agreement for us before we move on?
No, those all sound good.
Okay. So what would make this a really powerful conversation for you today?
Probably working on I know I have a block about getting visible and having attention on me. And I really struggle with how to overcome that. That's it all comes down to like not feeling good enough. I've been very into the self-help books for very many years, and I have Reiki, and she does coaching too. So I've dived in. It's just there's some things that I just I don't know how to like unblock it. Those feelings. Yeah, I don't know.
Tell me a time most recently that comes to mind where you had that experience or that feeling where you were about to show up or you showed up and that fear was kind of front and center.
Most recent. Probably when I really started showing up like on my business page, when I really started to like put myself out there, talk about like I'm on antidepressants right now because I had anxiety for a number of years, and starting the business I just ended up in like a deep depression and was having mental breakdowns all the time. And eventually I listened to my body and I went to the doctor and I went on medication. So like because I had that stigma of like, I'm never going on medication, I find it's really terrifying to talk about, but I also want to put it out there because I don't want other people to feel like they're a failure because they go on medication. So just being really putting myself out there and really speaking my truth has been terrifying, honestly. And I really want to do videos and stuff talking about it, but like it stresses me out. I'm like, no, I can't do it. Like I wanna serve more, and I just like I can't do it. Like I have such a hard time showing up video wise. Picture wise, I'm getting better, but video wise, like every day when I post, I'm like, oh God, is there gonna be backlash with this?
I want to acknowledge your courage and bravery for all that you just shared. And there are going to be women that hear this and they'll be able to take a breath because of your vulnerability. So you may not even realize it, but you're impacting women today just by showing up in this way. So that's number one. Number two is when we talked about doing this, and look, I get that this is not for the faint of heart to show up in this way. I recall what you told me. And sure, there was some fear there, but ahead of this fear, there was an eagerness to do this. Talk to me about the decision to do this, because what you're doing here isn't anything to take lightly. This you're going live in a group, and there could be potentially hundreds of people that will see this. So let's kind of look right there for a second. Tell me about that.
I just took it as an opportunity of divine timing, honestly, as being able to show up in a way where I'm not alone, really. And I thought, talking to somebody would be easier than just me blurting out things that I want to talk about, and getting coaching on that too at the same time. And I thought of it as a really good opportunity to finally just take a baby step to conquer that fear a little bit, one step at a time.
So your language just a couple minutes ago was that you struggle to show up. And I just want to emphasize again that you showed up here today in a really, really big way. So I want to make sure that you celebrate this and you really acknowledge the step that I wouldn't consider it a baby step today. You took quite a leap to do this. And I want that to just really sink in and you to feel that for a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So let's play with this, because I just heard from you that part of what helped you to relax to this idea a bit was the fact that it would be more of like a conversation, a dialogue, not just, all eyes on you. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how could this be a mirror into your content, into the next thing that you can do in your business to be visible? Is there anything that you can take as far as this structure and apply it in your own way?
Well, I could do coaching with people, or even just chatting with people live. That might be a little more different than just me, all eyes on me. Which feels really good, or do like a group live session. That would feel good too. Yeah.
Fear is our greatest teacher and also a mirror of exactly kind of what needs our attention in the moment. And sometimes fear can feel so great that we become less resourceful and creative with navigating and handling the fear, right? So this doesn't need to be like the visibility block that you have. Let's just rewrite the story. Let's create your own unique set of rules around what showing up could mean and look like in your business. It doesn't mean that you have to show up and do a Facebook Live every day for the next 30 days. If you've taken a feeling of comfort in this format, maybe it's just worth looking at in your own way, in your own business. Because our fears are really just like one step in the direction that we want to go. We don't have to take that huge gigantic step at once. Is this making sense?
Yes.
So if we were to take the pressure off of this need to be more visible, if we were to kind of create your own set of rules around what it could look like, and if you were to bring in some fun with it, to have fun with it, what could you do? What could you create tomorrow that feels really good?
Even just a fun video. I think sometimes I just have a fear of like showing my real self because I've always been like goofy and whatnot. And so, of course, when I was a kid in school, like you're disrupting the class. And so you get in trouble. And then my parents were pretty strict. So then I got in trouble at home. So I've just kind of attached getting attention to like getting in trouble. So then I'm just like, oh, well, if I'm myself, I'm going to get in trouble, which is playing in my head. And I know that that's not true. So I think I just struggle with that, just showing up as like my goofy self that I really am.
Mm.
But I know I can do that. And it's way more fun than just trying to be someone I'm not, because that's not going to flow either. And even just giving a simple tiny message would be like a Instagram story. I could do that. That would feel good.
So I want to go back to something you just shared that was powerful. And so back when you were in school, you had your teachers that you had to answer to, right? Growing up, you had your parents that you had to answer to. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Who does Kelly have to answer to right now in her life?
No one. Myself. Yeah. Well, that feels good to say. Yeah.
You are in the driver's seat. And the GPS in here is the purpose that's on your heart and that's calling you. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that purpose nudging you to do? What is that who is that purpose nudging you to be?
Someone who inspires women to overcome their blocks and change their mindset so that they can feel confident and follow their path.
Do you suspect that you'll cause any trouble by living your full authentic purpose, only having to now answer to yourself and your dream?
No, won't cause trouble.
If you did, because let's face it, we are change makers, we are entrepreneurs, we are rebels, we are unicorns, we are unconventional. There's going to be a lot of people that won't get what we're doing and will want to challenge us. That is just, that's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We do it anyway.
Making me feel like a badass now.
But you are. Dude, I'm just reflecting back to you, back to this badassery. That's simply it. We go through life and people along the way are telling us that we're wrong, telling us that we need to tone it down a bit, telling us that what we have to say doesn't really matter. And as that's happening along this journey, we're dimming our light less and less and less. And eventually, our diamond, the special thing that we have, it can be completely like covered. So this is just about getting back to your diamond again and letting it flip and shine like it's meant to. What's coming up for you right now?
Just feelings that I can do anything at the moment. Like, I can remember, like, deep inside me, I feel like I'm meant to be in some kind, not like a spotlight, but like I've always envisioned myself like talking to groups of people or doing a group of women, like having a circle or a group coaching and just doing things that are fun and inspiring. And at the moment, I feel like I totally have confidence that I could do that, which is a new feeling for sure. Feels good.
It's no surprise that the focal point for you when we started the call was this block around being visible. It's no surprise because you're saying that you're calling, you're being called to the spotlight. So of course there's going to be a block, like a constant ongoing block that is nudging you daily and trying to get your attention. And that's really the thing that is ready to be released now. And you giving yourself the permission to be fully in the driver's seat of your dream.
Damn, girl. Yeah, feels good.
It's this, we all have life dirt, right? And especially for healers and people that are wanting to serve and help others heal, we often have significant life dirt of our own. And so the beautiful piece of this is it's the chance for us to bring it front and center and clear it, because the minute that is clear, you have the full power and focus and energy to pour into the clients that are waiting for you to show up. And you can't really do that. You can, but you can't have the biggest impact until you take care of this life dirt. So I really honor you for being willing to look in places that aren't really easy to look at. So
Thank
what
you.
now? What now?
Well, I'm going to keep going on my course and keep working. I know even with that, like I'll be coaching myself as I'm learning to coach. And I think that's why I've been so hesitant, because life dirt, as you put it. There's definitely a lot still lurking, but I definitely feel ready to unleash that and feel confident that I need to work on that so I can be the best person, to the best coach, and show up in the best way for people.
Mm.
So my procrastination, I think, will drop down. Sometimes I feel like there's not enough hours in the day, because like I already wake up at 4 to like go to the gym and stuff before work. And then by the time I get home and like eat supper and whatever, then it's like bedtime pretty much. So, but I mean, there's definitely spots where I can work on something. I'm very much like, you got to do all of the things in the day rather than just like tidbits. Like 20 minutes of work isn't enough for me. I have to do more than that, but I'm learning that that's not always like the case.
Mm.
But
Yes.
yeah, I feel ready to dive in deeper into those topics and things that I am going to learn for sure.
Some of the most renowned scholars in the world, um, I think Einstein was one of them. They worked for 4 to 5 hours a day, but they were monomaniacally focused on like in their zone of genius.
Mm-hmm.
And so many studies have showed us that our brains really can only handle 90-minute increments of work, or then we just start to check the news feed and check the email and all of that. So there is a lot of power in you can get more done in less time when you're really focused.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I would agree with that. Even with cleaning, I'm like, 20 minutes is enough. Luckily, I have a very small house, so it usually only takes me an hour anyways to like fully. I've lived in bigger houses before, and I'm like, I can't spend my day doing this.
See, I can't stand putting away my laundry. That to me is such a drain. I hate putting my clothes away. But
Gotta do it.
until we have someone that can do those things for us, so we can be fully in our zone of genius, right? Because at the end of the day, that's all that we need to do to really create the impact and the income that will make a big difference. So do you feel complete from this conversation? You very well could be, or is there something else that is just kind of like in your orbit that would feel really good to look at?
Let me think. I feel really good. Like really good. Yeah. I mean, the only other thing is, which I still struggle with, is the balance of like business, schoolwork, and home life. But that's just a juggling thing that I'll have to learn on.
Mm.
on my own and figure that out. I'm getting better at it, that's for sure. Because before I would go to work, I'm like, I only want to focus on my course, but obviously I have to focus on that business while I'm at that business. And since I started doing that, it seems like more things are flowing better. I was just really excited about my course, so I was like, only coursework. But that can't. I have that business to focus on too when I'm there. So
Mm.
coursework has been done at home. I'll do my posts and stuff there when I'm at work, but other than that, I've been leaving things for at home, which is
How would you like to feel in regards to your schedule right now?
less hectic and like I feel like I'm being pulled like a bunch of different directions. There's just a lot like we're trying to do at the store right now. There's the festival and we're trying to switch our POS system and it's just been a little hectic there recently. But I think once the new year hits, it'll be a little more calm but yeah, I just feel like I'm being like I have too much to do in the run of a day.
Mm.
But that's pressure that I'm putting on myself as well that I recognize
Mm.
that I have to do. I like a lot of lists.
Lists can be helpful.
They can be, but they can be very overwhelming at the same time.
So sometimes I find that we either fall into one of two categories as it relates to time and the clock. We're either a victim to it or we're a victor. And so it's really empowering when we can take control back over time, right? It doesn't need to rule us. We all have the same 168 hours in the week. And so for you, I'm just wondering, is there a way to shift out of this idea that you're struggling to find balance and allowing it to feel more in harmony? Because balance is just really not possible anyway, right?
Right.
There are going to be moments where your store will require extra attention and your coursework might get less of your attention. There will be times where your clients are getting the bulk of your attention, and it's like an ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, is there something around the harmonization of all of your core buckets of things that you can just surrender to this like need to strike a balance? And what if balance just wasn't a thing?
You just gave me like a huge sigh of relief. Even just think, I'm like, yeah, no, I can do that. That's, yeah, that's a much better way of looking at it.
So what I love to do,
Awareness, yeah.
and you can play with this is just an idea for you. What feels really aligned for me is if I approach my day. So in the morning, I get really clear in that if I were to do these 3 to 5 things today, I will feel like a total badass. And I just focus on getting those 3 to 5 things done. Sure, my list is long and I could potentially do 20 things. And I'm not saying that if I were to finish the 3 to 5 things that I wouldn't finish 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that day. But I take the pressure off to check all of the boxes in a single day.
Mm-hmm.
What really matters? So let's look ahead for you at tomorrow's schedule. If you were to wake up and think about, okay, I have so much to get done today. If I were to accomplish these things, I would feel amazing. Are there like 3 to 5 things that you could come up with or narrow down to?
Yeah. Yeah. I could do that. That would be a good morning task, like a good morning ritual add-on.
Mm.
But yeah, 3 or 5 things would make me happy. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to just strip it down and go back to the basics. And that can
Mhm.
feel really hard and uncomfortable in today's like modern world with all that we have going on. And you certainly have a lot going on right now. But what are the couple of things that make the biggest difference for you? Like the things that you have to complete to get to where you want to go, and allow yourself to just enjoy doing those things consistently, and anything else that you can get to, that's a bonus, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that feels good. Definitely posts are on my top priority every day, because that was, I wasn't posting every day either, and then I'd get like beat myself up over that. So
Mhm.
now I've just been like, okay, I'm going to take half hour and do that, and then I feel good. And same with the store, post for that, and that feels good. And at the store, there's usually just little odds and ends that needs to, like, that I would like to get done. But and yeah, and even if I could do like one exercise a night for my course, that would feel really good too. Yeah, 3 to 5 things sounds good. And then if more can happen, more can happen. Sometimes I have a hard time surrendering to allow things to just flow. I
Mm.
get caught up in things, and then, but then I usually get in that moment of, aha, yes, you need to dial it down a little bit and just let things happen.
It makes sense if you think what I'm hearing, what you've described about just the kind of person you are and how you've grown up and wanting to always have a plan, right? That really aligns with your personality. And oftentimes those it tends to be our pattern, right, of doing one thing a certain way, or always having to have the plan, and that's a pattern. And so you get to look at the pattern and decide if it is empowering this next chapter of your life, and if it's not, you can choose different. What I find really interesting is that you are in doing this work, you're committing your life to this work of intuitive coaching and mindset, and that is all flow, right? So it just might be that this is an old pattern that you get to totally love up and thank it, and it served you for, and it's ran its course, right? And you just get to now be more in flow, in the flow of life. And this
Which is
sounds,
really what I aspire. I'm like, that's what I want. I just want my life to be flow.
mm,
I mean, who doesn't? But yeah, it's, habits are hard to break sometimes, especially when they're so like, I need to have this done to feel successful, or, but I'm slowly learning that you don't need to always be like to feel successful, because usually the days that I've just like let my head go and I just do things, like if I clean the store, or I'm just, meditating, and like just having a day where I'm like moseying around the house, like when I let things flow, those are the days that I feel the best at the end of the day,
mm,
even if I didn't get the list done.
mm.
It's those days that I feel like I had a really good day today. Yeah.
Sometimes we have a conflict with the masculine energy in us and the feminine. And so it sounds like you, and I believe that it's really beautiful to have a balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like the masculine energy in you is you are a doer, you get things done, you achieve, you accomplish, you set goals and achieve them. And the feminine energy in you is intuition and creativity and flow and purpose. And so it sounds like just with the things that you have going on and on your plate, that requires a, it might feel that it requires a bit more of the masculine energy to get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're desiring more of is feminine.
Yeah.
So this could just be a simple shining the light on that and having awareness and just giving yourself permission to to be more feminine, to show up in a more feminine way, to allow yourself to access that flow and to dial into that.
Mm-hmm. I've definitely been making more time to like do things creatively outside of my business, like even just like painting a little picture, or I bought some fabric to make my dogs some Christmas bandanas.
That's
Just
beautiful.
like those things, because I'm realizing in order to be creative in my business, I need to be creative in my fun time, like just have time where I can just, it's not for any purpose other than just to like do that for fun
Mm,
and because I like it.
mm.
So I'm bringing that in more now than I was before, because I was very like, and now I'm like, I need to be more creative in like ways that just make me feel good.
Mm.
Sometimes I forget to like take care of myself in that way. But those are all self-care activities that you kind of need to do in order to be sane.
You have you're in the process of answering this calling on your life and you're raising your hand, and there's a duty that comes with this because I don't know what you believe in, the universe, source, God, you're going to be sent people that will be in your care. And so the moment that you declare and that you show that you are committed to being the best, most lit up, full version of you, the better you can serve these souls that have been placed in your care. So it's more of that going back to it's really not about us. It's about we're an instrument, we're a vessel, and we have to take care of our instrument. We have to keep our instrument in tip-top shape. That's what that is about.
Mm-hmm. I'm very good preaching it to other people. I, I always give the great advice and then I'm like, no.
Yes. Well, starting today, you just get to walk your talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this totally was divine timing. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Such an honor. Before we close, are there any, like, is there one or two ahas that you had that was like a really powerful shift for you that you'd love to share?
Definitely just recognizing and realizing that I am the driver. You know, I could say it all the time, but I think I needed someone to just be like, hey man, you don't have to, there's nobody else out there to that you need to answer to anymore. Like, and you're not going to get in trouble for being yourself. Like, yeah, I don't have anyone to answer to anymore. Like, I am the driver. So that was definitely huge and a very good reminder. And sometimes I have a hard time, like I'll say things, but then realizing them like in my brain, like they don't click sometimes. I guess that's everybody, but no, today it definitely just was like, dude, she's totally right. I can do whatever I want and I don't have to, I'm not going to get in trouble from anyone because I drive the car now.
Mm.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the biggest aha moment for sure. And just the reminder of that it's not about me. And that takes the pressure off really when you realize everything you're doing is for other people. It doesn't, not that you don't matter, but those, like, that purpose is bigger than any fear that I come up against.
Mm.
That's, which feels really good. And a good reminder for when I do hit a block or something comes up is just to remind myself that it's not about me, it's about the people I want to serve.
Beautiful. So while this light switch is turned on, because you've had these insights here, what happens is we go back to life, right? And so to make sure to keep that switch on, what I would invite you to do is to create a mantra card or make it your screensaver or whatever you need to do that says, I am the driver, or whatever feels really fun for you. But continue to really, really call that in daily, because that's the process of changing the neural networks in your brain. So the more you look at that, the less over time you'll hear that playback of, well, if I'm me, I'll get in trouble. That will become less and less quiet, or less and less loud, the more that you are really, really feeling into this. No, I'm actually in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
So any way that you can bring that in daily and really reinforce that for yourself, you're going to rewire your subconscious belief and your conscious. So
Add it to my affirmations that I do in the morning.
there you go.
If I don't sleep in.
4 a.m. wake up call. I don't know.
You're like, why do you wake up so early? I'm like, you must be a morning person. Like, no, I'm not a morning person. It takes me a very long time to actually like be able to talk to people. But it's just the time for me to have my morning ritual of like coffee and doing my meditation and my affirmations and those things, and then I'm ready to like go to the gym and do my workout. But
so powerful. Some of the most successful people in the world have that exact same practice. It's amazing. If it feels good to you, keep rocking with it.
Mm-hmm. It definitely feels good. I notice if I like accidentally fall asleep again or wake up late or whatever, and I don't have time to do it before I leave, I'm like, I really wish I would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
I notice for sure when I don't get to do those things.
It like you start the day off on an entirely different foot, isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it's totally crazy. It's kind of funny how the simplest things can like not make or break your day, because you can still have a good day even if you don't do those things, but just like those tiny things that you do but makes a huge difference in your day. It's
Huge.
pretty crazy. It's good though.
Well, this was such an honor, and I am so grateful and just like so impressed by you, and I can't wait to see what you create. And yeah, keep shining your beautiful light in this on this world.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much.
Absolute pleasure. Keep us posted on everything, okay?
I will.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon, okay?
Sounds good. You too.
Bye, honey.
See you.